Tony, thanks for joining us on the podcast. Really appreciate your time. How's your morning been so far?
Been really good. We've got a new grandson, so
Oh,
and we look
congratulations.
after him a couple of times a week. Thank you. Yeah,
Oh, that's amazing.
we just love it. It's just like as you know, we've got four kids and we love kids, Patricia and myself,
Yeah,
and I used to say, let's have some more, and then she goes, no, that's all right. Relax. Guess what? Your grandkids are going to be the next kids, and
100%.
she was 100% correct because it's just I just love it. Absolutely love it, and
Oh, that's amazing.
and I think as you
Congratulations.
get older, everything changes, perspective changes, and
100%.
it's just honestly, I wake up and I'm not a morning person because, as you know, I go to bed really late at
Yeah,
night
yeah,
and I
yeah,
get
yeah.
up a bit early later. But just even hear him in the morning, I just smile even while I'm laying in
Oh,
bed. It's a beautiful thing,
that's
absolutely
amazing.
beautiful.
Actually,
So,
while we're on that topic,
mm,
how old are you, Tony?
I'll be 59 in July.
Are you really?
Yeah.
I thought maybe not even 50 yet.
Oh, thanks, Michael. I appreciate
Really?
that. But yeah.
59. Wow.
Yeah. Look, I think and I say it to a lot of people, weight training, because it obviously it tones your skin as well, yeah. So
Yeah, of
not just
course.
must be your skin's tight as well, and I
Yeah.
think that helps a real lot in that. But yeah, I try and maintain as much as I can, and
59.
obviously I keep thinking I'm going to get ripped or hard like I used to be when I was younger. But as you get older, it's a lot harder, and that, and you go
What a
through some
possibilities.
downers and ups, and yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah.
So, like, well, obviously, we're going to talk about ICN a little bit, but I want
Yes.
to talk a little bit about the backstory because obviously, was ICN started in what was it 2016, 15? When was it?
Correct. Yes, that's right. Yes, it was.
2016, was it?
But we've been around for over 30
Yeah.
years, as you know.
So that's what I wanted to kind of chat about because
Mm,
obviously ICN spawned off another federation that you were a part
yeah.
of.
Yes.
Um, so how long has it been since you've been in the industry? Like, I mean, not just
Yes.
like, training, but I
Yeah.
mean, in the industry, like being a promoter, being a president, how long has it been?
Yeah.
Like, when did you start?
Um. Well, good question, actually. So as you get older, these things
Yeah,
aren't
that many
10
years.
years. You're talking 20s and 30s. Oh, well, first of all, in the industry, I've been since I was 16.
Yeah.
I was one of the first male aerobics instructors.
Really?
Yeah,
Oh, no
that's how I
way.
started. Yeah. So I started training at 16, and then by about 18, 19, one of the gym owners that come up to me and said, oh, because I grew up in that area, which is St. Albans. I grew up in there.
Yeah.
And he says, you know, a lot of people. And I said, well, I grew up in this area, so you get to meet a lot of people. And he goes, have you ever thought of becoming an aerobics instructor? I said, oh, no, I always thought that was for, at the time, it might sound sexist, but it was for girls and that, yeah.
Sure,
He
sure.
goes, no, it's for everyone. And an instructor can be any. And I said, yeah, I'll give it a shot. So I did the course and became an aerobics instructor. And that opened up a lot of doors
Yeah.
for me as well. And that's the thing. I was actually talking to a friend last night, and I said, because about their son to get into training. I said, it changed my life because once I
Mm,
started training, people look at you and talk to you differently as well,
100%.
as you know. And I said that might be the thing that he needs to change his life as well.
Yeah.
And then,
So when
then,
did you first
yep.
get into bodybuilding? Like, when did you first be aware of the industry and become part of it?
Oh, honestly, back when I was 18, 19,
Yeah.
in the old days and that, and bodybuilding was different then. And I loved it from day one. I said, oh, this is magnificent. It's great. Yeah, you're basically a sculpture, and then you go up on stage and show your art
Show it off. Yeah, yeah.
on stage. Yeah. And I just loved it. And so I started going to all the shows and watching the shows. And then a friend of mine was a head judge of an old federation back then. And he said, are you interested in doing judging? I said, I've never done it before. And he said, well, you sit on the panel and you learn and then you pick it up from there. So I started doing judging and that gave my love even more. And
Hmm.
then I started doing backstage.
Yeah.
You name it. I did it. Whatever they wanted me to do. I just wanted to be involved and just loved it. And it was like an addiction then.
Yeah.
And then an opportunity came when Wayne, as you know, he introduced natural bodybuilding to Australia.
Yep.
And I owned Bell Street back then, Bell Street Fitness.
Oh, yes,
And
that's right. Yeah,
yeah, that's where Tony Haranis, all those greats, that's where
that's
they all
right.
started.
Yeah.
We used to have the WWE wrestlers, you used to come there and train.
So
Any celebrity
obviously that place is closed down, but the sign is
yes.
still there.
Yeah, I know, I love it,
Yeah.
love it. It's an icon there. Yeah.
You've got to go and pinch it, Tony. Put it in your room.
Yeah. Mate, you'll need more than a scissor lift. You need the fire brigade to come here with the ladder to get it off. But I love it. It's good. Yeah, it was a great part of our lives and that, and started a lot of people into bodybuilding and actually, we used to bring a big team, and that's why I say to a lot of gym owners, really support your athletes because they're representing you up there, and it'll actually get you more business as well. So we started going to the shows. I used to tell everyone, come and watch the show, this is when Wayne was running it. So we'd bring a team of 50, 100, and then it just grew and grew. And then all my members go, oh, I'd like to get into it. So I looked into how they can become a bodybuilder or a model or whatever. So we started doing that. And then Wayne said, mate, you're bringing all these big teams and that. Why don't you join me? And then, I ended up joining. But I said, number one, before I do that, I want to feel and go through the journey of what a competitor
that's right.
is going through.
Yeah.
So I did all the dieting, the training and everything like that. Oh, the hardest thing ever.
Yeah.
And then I competed before I became the Victorian president back then.
I saw a photo floating around a long time ago. I think you posted it once or twice. Yeah, I've seen
I might have.
Yeah,
I should have changed my background as that.
Yeah. Sure.
So, and like I said, honestly, Michael, it just changed my life.
Yeah.
I said it the other day at the football club, because we were talking about, we had a circle and we said, what things that influenced you or thought that, you could never be. Obviously I'm short. I've always been short. I lost my hair when I was early. Then I started wearing glasses. I said, how much more can I get? Yeah. And I found ways of how I can counteract that, I suppose, or get people to look at me differently. And that's when I started weight training, and at school, oh wow, you started, especially the first 3-6 months, you start to show a bit of muscle on that. And I saw people changing the way they were talking to me. Not that anyone, and I don't think they meant it as putting me down, oh, look how short you are, whatever. But I just had to find a way of how I can be different. And like I said, it opened up so many doors for me. So,
then after that, obviously you became a promoter, then eventually president, and then eventually ICN was spawned off that. You're the Australian president. Now there's heads in every state, right?
Correct, yes.
Yeah. And you're in I was just trying to think about, you're in every single state in Australia except for NT, right?
Yeah, correct. State, right? I think we started it, but because Tropics is pretty close to there anyway. So they all just go down there. I don't think there's enough maybe competitors there to warrant it there. But, as you know, Queensland's very strong.
100%. So obviously you got every state head, and then you also head up Victoria, obviously, because this is where you are, and you live, and you're the guy on the mic that is, and also the DJ, right?
Yes, correct. Love it.
And then this year, we've obviously had, for as long as I can remember, shows at Moonee Valley, right?
Correct.
But this year we're changing venue because Moonee Valley, they're going to go through some construction and things like that.
They are.
So we've got a new venue. We've got a new venue for season A and for season B.
Yes.
So tell us a bit about the season A one. What's the stage like? Is it pre-built? What's the seating like? What are we going to expect for the season A show?
Yeah. Well, as you can see behind me, that's actually the seating.
In the background,
in the background. That's the actual seating for the show, the new show in season A, not new show, sorry, new venue in season A, which is the CRC Performing Arts Centre. One thing, we always look for new venues and bigger and better. We look for 5-star venues. We don't just want a normal town hall. Glen Ira just didn't feel right for us either, but at the time, that's all we could really find. Because as you know, with any muscle and model show, you need a big backstage, and a lot of these venues are just made just for dance and theatre. So they only have like 5 or 6 little, or even if you're lucky to have that, little change rooms. Well, that's not going to suit us. So we just happened to find this place because a lot of the parents that we know said, oh, why don't you try that? Because they've been there before and they loved it. So the seating is theatre seating. The stage is actually on the floor.
Okay.
But it's a proper stage. It's I'm pretty sure it's floorboards, but with like a coating over it. Black and curtain. the whole stage is beautiful. It's got beautiful lighting, all LED lighting, which is going to be a must for us. Is because the floodlights we used to use in Moonee Valley, as you know, gets pretty hot.
Hot, yeah, it does.
LED doesn't give off that heat like the halogens do. 100%. So that's another good bonus. The sound, backstage is we've got a basketball court.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
It's big enough.
So it is. It's joined on to the venue. So there's a door that exits and you go straight into the basketball court. But there's also 2 big change rooms, as in with mirrors and like a makeup area.
Yeah, perfect.
So to get the makeup, all the makeup artists can be in those rooms, and it's even got their own toilets as well, which is awesome. Even better. Really good. Then there's 2 drama rooms that are connected as well. But only when we need it, for the maybe some of the bigger shows and that. And so look, sorry, Michael, to cut you off. So that you're always looking for something better, and Moonee Valley started to look a bit old now as well.
Of course, yeah. And then for season B, it's a different venue to season A. And what's it like? What's the seating like? What's the stage like? What's the backstage like with that venue?
Yes. Okay. So with the Encore in Hoppers Crossing, another hidden gem. You build it how you want. It's got a proper stage, so it's an up stage, and I think it's about probably the same size as Moonee Valley. It's about, I think, 14 meters wide and that. And then there's 5 change rooms in the back. Yeah. But then we're going to cut a bit of the room off because it's actually a funny shaped room. When you go there, you'll see what I mean. But so we're getting partition boards put across, so we got a lot more access for backstage as well. And then the seating is on the floor, the same as basically like Moonee Valley and that. And then it's got a beautiful foyer. There's tons of parking. It's got a leisure centre connected to it. There's shopping centres nearby. And we look at all those kind of things. Same as Carolina Springs has got a shopping centre right on maybe 100 metres away.
Yeah, so, because I know you're running obviously nationals this year in season B.
Yes.
So it's going to be big. There's going to be a lot of people. People are going to travel down, so they're going to need supermarkets close by, probably accommodation, things like that. So that's really good. And obviously a big backstage area because there's just so many people.
Oh yeah,
that's
my word. So
that's exciting news that nationals is here in Victoria.
Yes,
Is it here to stay? What is the go with where nationals gets allocated every year?
Yeah, we look. We've always looked at moving it around, but then like the nationals in Sydney, it's always in Sydney, and Sydney. Yes, correct. Season 8 nationals, and we found that Sydney and Melbourne are pretty much central in Australia. So we thought, okay, we're moving it to Queensland, but then it's a long way for everyone else to travel there, and to Queensland, and vice versa. So we thought if we have the Sydney one in season 8 and then the Melbourne one in season B. I think that's more convenient for everyone, from Tassie, from Canberra, from everywhere. So it's very centralised. And now that we found this great venue, that's going to be definitely a big bonus for everyone. And like you said, with hotels and shopping centres, everything close by. And it's a nice looking venue, and that's important because to us, big shows like the Nationals, the Australians and National has to be in a classy place. It's the pinnacle of our bodybuilding and model shows in Australia. And as you saw my announcement last night that the Oceania is going to be part of it as well.
Yeah, that's awesome. So because like I've been to the Sydney show Sydney show for the Nationals in season A. Amazing venue. Like there's a hotel like 10 meters away.
Correct.
10 meters away. It's perfect.
Yes.
Queensland venue for nationals is great too, and that's where they run their big state show, I think.
Yes, correct.
So we definitely have to hold that standard if we bring it down to Melbourne. So that's amazing.
Yes, my word, yeah. So definitely, and that's why it was the case. And Wayne and I own the rights to the Australian Championships as well. So. And we thought we'll just keep it here, and we might look later on and change it, just depending on how it's going and that.
Since we're talking about nationals, one of the biggest questions a coach gets, and you probably get too, is how do I get a pro card?
Yes, my word.
How does someone get a pro card?
Okay, well now with the Oceania part of it, we've actually doubled the pro cards that will be given out because every open class, and as you know, Michael, it's not easy to win. No. So it's not like you say, you're doubling up, you're going to just give out pro cards. No. It doesn't come out of a cornflakes pack. You've got to earn this. And to win an Open at the Australian Championships or the Nationals in Sydney or the Oceania, trust me, you really have to be at that high pro standard. And that's what we wanted.
So it's an Open at a national show or at the Oceania?
Correct.
And you've got to win.
Or a world championships or something. Yeah.
And sometimes we know that Open classes get broken up because there's, all the people, so they've got to get broken up into, height categories and height classes. Okay, that makes sense. So what about for international shows? Is that a Wayne question?
No, because the same thing. International shows, as long as they're at that standard, then yes. Then
so it's got to be a universe or a world titles.
Correct, yes.
It's the same deal.
Yeah, or a European Championship. As you know, the standard up there is really, really good. Same as Diesel show, the universe in Korea. Oh, yes. Guys, can I just say, if you have an opportunity to go there, please go.
I've actually got someone in the team that's looking into going.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Love it. Michael, one thing we've always based our pride is that we're not just representing us, but we're representing you as a trainer as well. Mm-hmm. So if we give them a bad experience, that leaves a bad taste in your mouth as well.
100%.
And as you know, you've met Diesel and that he's just a character, and Miss Lee, they're just, honestly, the Koreans are the most beautiful and respectful people. Yeah. And he puts on an amazing show with laser lights and smoke and you name it. It's just incredible. It's the next level. I was just speaking to Georgia, one of the girls that went over there, that we sent over there last year. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And she goes, she had the best time of her life. And that's what we want people to come back saying. Yeah, and that was one of the reasons why we split from the old federation, which was in turn really developed by Wayne. So it was really ours anyway. And we still own that.
Yeah.
But that was the thing, that they were going overseas, coming back with a bad taste in their mouth, and that reflected back on us.
Yeah, 100%.
And we didn't want that,
So we got some listener questions.
Yeah.
So, and what was interesting is, whenever I ask these questions, I put these questions out there. There's a box to ask the question, and I'm going to know who's asking it. And then there's a box where you can do it anonymously, right? That's when the tricky questions are going to come in, of course.
Of course.
And
I wonder if it's my opposition putting those questions out.
Maybe.
I love it. I love it.
And out of goodwill, I sent them to you about an hour or two before we started. And you were like, yep, let's do it. So I appreciate the fact that you're going to take on some maybe challenging questions. And you're all for it. But I'm not going to start off with a challenging one up front. I'll come. One of the questions was about where you see the federation going and how to stay at the forefront of all these other natural federations that are coming up. Because as we know, there's the big three. It's yourself, NBA, AMB, the big three if you think about it.
Yeah.
And you're the biggest out of the three, but they're doing very well, and they're building momentum for sure. So how do you tackle that? Like, we're all in it together, and it's a great community, and we want to see everyone do well, and even other federations. But I understand that you'd love to stay at the forefront. So what are some of the things you are considering? Do you look at what the opposition are doing? Like, if I'm a businessman, I'll do what my competitors do too. So do you look at what they're doing? Do you take some ideas? Are you going to change the way you're doing anything, or are you happy with how you're tracking at the moment?
No, I never settle for, okay, we're the best, so we don't need to do anything. Yeah. They can just catch up to us and that. And we don't, I never walk around saying, and you've probably never heard me say it, that I'm number one and we're the best federation and all that, because then I can tell you now it will fail. So I'm always looking at evolving. What can I do? What can I introduce? Just got to evolve. And as you know, at all the posing workshop, I always ask for feedback. Come and see me. If there's something that you didn't enjoy at the show, other than the judging, which I can't control and I don't want to control, everything else is under my control. So if there was something backstage that upset you or you weren't happy about, I want to know about it.
100%.
Because if I don't know about it, I can't fix it. If I don't care, then that means I'm not a very good promoter.
Yeah. you've always been like that too, Tony. You've always asked us for feedback, us coaches for feedback, and
Yes.
if what our clients thought about it too. And we tell you the good and the bad, and you take it all
Yes.
on, and you make adjustments if need be. So, like, we appreciate
Yeah.
that. And I tell people too is that the three federations, they're all different, right? So, and I always say, try them and see what you like, because it's like a brand of car, right?
Yes.
Nobody likes the same thing. So, and also I tell you, but I also tell the federations, there's more than enough to go around. Like there's more than enough competitors and clients to go around. There's no scarcity, right? So never be worried that, your federation is not going to get the numbers that it needs to get at the shows, because trust me, there's plenty to go around. And if anything, cross competing is becoming more popular. So surrounding people that have never done your federation, have always done another one, they're more likely to do yours now.
Yeah, my word, Michael. The thing is, I used to get upset when I go, "Oh, hang on, how come Michael's now going to my opposition?"
Yeah.
But then I thought about it, and I always think about things, and even when people come up with me with a question, I always think before I give my answer. And I said, well, if I gave Michael a great experience, he enjoyed my show, loved everything we did about it, and then he goes and does the other thing, he's going to compare. That's just human nature. And if I did the right thing, guess what? Michael's going to come back and do my show. But if I didn't look after him and I ran it badly and it was just unprofessional and that, and they ran it better than me and he enjoyed himself there more, well, he's going to stay there and go, well, I didn't enjoy Tony's show. So going back to copying and looking at other federations, of course we do. We all do. But, I remember back in, let's go back, when posing routines were in. You used to have the cassette tape, and most of you out there wouldn't know what that is. Anyway, so they used to play it and put it on the wrong side, and no, it's on the B side. And I go, well, why would you put it on the B side? Anyway, play it. And then they come out with the CDs, obviously. Well, I brought in, and I couldn't believe that the other federations took so many years to catch up, to rip the music off the CD and put it onto a laptop with their competitor number, and play it through there. So there was never any problem about the scratches or jumping or not playing and that. So I always look at things, how can I make things better? And that was one of the things that we made it better. And if you notice that everything we do, I'm always bringing out new stuff, whether it's prizes, trophies, medals, no matter what it is. As you know, we don't just have a generic medal. It's not just a standard medal. That's the cheapest. Mate, if I did that, it'd be magnificent. My cost would drop dramatically. But we do a different medal for every show. And each mold, I think, costs us $1,000 just to make one mold. But, if, like I said, generic, I could have thousands of them just sitting in the warehouse. But I've got to order for every show because it's unique to each show. And that was something I'm proud of, that we have got a medal, and we're doing one now for the Winter Champion, for the Oceania. We can bring it out each new show. Once it's settled and it is there, then we'll make a medal for that particular show. So I'm always, and I never stop wanting to get better and introducing the trainer awards. We brought that in. The others copy it, and that's fine.
That's okay.
Because that's what you do. I mean, you said about cars. I'm sure they copy little things that, that's not a bad idea. And I'll look at, Stewie's and that and go, oh, yeah, that's not a bad idea, because I've got a good relationship with all the federations, I don't have a problem with anyone. So I'm always looking at things, and if that suits us, fine. And you know what? If people don't like what they're doing, well, that's their company, that's their federation, 100%. And vice versa. We do what we think our people would love, our competitors, our members, our trainers, and that's why.
I actually prefer there being a difference between all the federations. I actually prefer it, because it would be harder to decide if they were the same.
Yes.
And you would probably shoot yourself in the foot if you were too similar to something else, because then you're competing on the nuances, the smallest little things. But if you're completely different, it's a totally different experience. So
and that's perfectly summed up. And we are different to the other federations and that. So and that's the thing. We don't want to be the same, because exactly right. It'd be like having two BMWs, and a BMW and a Mercedes are exactly the same. Well, then what's the difference?
100%. All right, I'm gonna start with the first difficult question.
Oh.
All right, you ready for it?
All right, yeah, I'm ready.
Okay, so we spoke about the nationals. We spoke about how there's different states. There's people that run the different states all separately and things like that. Or there's different people in different states. So one of the questions was, will there be consistency with judging at nationals this year? Vic and Queensland are judged very different. Does the Australian head judge go to state shows to make sure it's standardized like other federations?
Okay, good question. All right, I'm head judge, Michael. What competitor number have you selected? Let's make up a number.
Number 5.
Okay, but I want number 6. Do I override you?
Well, so what is the goal of the head judge on the judging table? If you've got 5 people, so that there's a
always odds.
It's an odd number, and the head judge only has one other person that agrees with them. So there's 2 against 3.
Yeah.
What happens there? Do they go for majority, or can the head judge overrule?
100%. No. A head judge's role is not to override. If he's going to override, the rest of it, how many judges you reckon I'll have by the end of the year?
Yeah, exactly.
No one on the panel,
just one judge, head judge, that's it. Yeah,
that's it.
He's always going to override you. So what's the point?
That's my point. Might as well just, if I'm the head judge, might as well just have me at every show.
Yeah,
because I'm making the decision. So the others are just invalid.
The question is obviously I know the answer to this, but there's different judges in every state, right?
Correct.
We know that clearly,
yep.
Right? And obviously, even though there's a criteria, there's humans being subjective, right?
Yes.
So they're all going to like different things, right?
Correct.
So then, in every state, what we know and what we see and what this person's calling out is there is a slight difference between every state of what every state likes. Okay, that's fair enough, right? We're just the thing we need to live with because there's humans involved.
Correct. And who says we're right and they're wrong?
100%.
And vice versa.
I totally understand that. So then the other part of the question is there a head judge that overlooks everyone to make sure everyone's the same?
Okay, Andrew, as you know, Andrew Hajal is my head judge here in Victoria, but he's also the Australian head judge. He overlooks everything, but and you said it, no human is basically perfect or is exactly the same. So as you know, even with a head judge going around to every state or whatever, everybody's different.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the lineups are different. It's not the same 10 people at every show. That's how you'll get more consistency. But even then, you probably won't get consistency. Yeah. You know, if I look at the big sports like AFL and all that, they have director of umpires, but still the umpire will go there and make a different decision, and they'll try and educate and everything. And we try that. But again, it's not that clear cut because there's different bodies or every show.
There's different lineups, different bodies.
It is. Even from one lineup to another next division.
Yeah.
You know, that same couple of girls could be in there, but there's other girls now in there and it's different. And as you know, is the perfect one, is that my first division, I wasn't posing very good. Second division, I'm a lot more confident. We say that at the workshops.
Yeah.
And I start to look better and everyone's going, oh, wow, who's that person? Yeah. It's the same person who was the division before, but they're more confident and all the pressure's been released, basically. So it's very hard. A head judge is basically rosters on the judges. Mm-hmm. And another thing I'm very proud with ICN, we have the same judges. I've had the same judges for, as you know, 10 years plus. We don't just ring up Michael and go, hey, Michael, listen, I need a judge on the weekend. Can you come? That's disrespectful.
I'd be an all right judge, don't you think?
Please. No, you probably would. But then you'd be surprised how many people go, what were you thinking, Michael, when you made that decision? No, it's not an easy job. It's not clear cut,
No, I wouldn't want the criticism, to be honest.
Nah, that's why, I DJ to the side, So when someone comes up and says, what happened there? I go, I don't know. I'm on the side, because I don't want to be involved in that side of it. So, and the head judge does the call-outs.
Yes. Yeah.
Right? But their vote is no different to anyone else on that panel. Like you said before. So if it's 3 against 2 and even the head judge is in that 2, guess what? It's the 3. It gets it. If not, don't have anyone else on the judging panel. Yeah. And having the head judge go to every state doesn't mean you're going to get consistency. Because I can tell you now, I'll go to every state and I'll I'll go, oh, okay, no, I would have picked differently. But then in Melbourne, I picked the other way, yeah? So it's very hard. And we don't have, okay, this is sports model. This is what our critique says. This is exactly, but no one on up there is in that critique.
Yes, you got to pick the best of the bunch. Yeah, I get it. So
yeah, we got to say, sorry, girls, you got to come off stage because none of you fit the critique.
None of you win. Yeah, I get it. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
So then I understand that because we've had this chat before. Like
yes, we have
a lot of times, right? To be open and honest, transparent, right? So we've had this chat before, and unless you were to have the same 5 judges be flown around to every single show, that's the only way you're going to get consistency. If it's the same,
but even then, Michael, you probably still won't get consistency.
Well, that'll be the most. That'll be the
yeah. Sorry,
I was always the same people, right?
Yeah. Because you've got different people on stage, so it's going to be different again. 100%. Sorry, Michael.
So I talked to, but like on that point, imagine you had 10 people and they went to Victoria, then they went on stage in Queensland, then they went on stage in New South Wales. The point is that the placings might be different because everyone thinks differently. That's my point.
Yes.
That's the point. But that's okay.
And you're right. It was subjective and we're very opinionated.
Of course. And not everyone agrees with judging, right? So
No.
So what I've learned to understand, and I've spoken to MG about this and to Scotty about this, is we just need to learn as coaches what every state likes. We just need to learn and understand and study it and be like, in Queensland, they have a different taste to Victoria. They're like a different type of coffee, right? In New South Wales, they're like a different type of coffee to South Australia. And we just need to learn their taste and what they like and present what they like the most in every state. That's how I approach it now, because we're not going to change it, right? It's the way it's going to be.
No. And it's not just our federation, as you know, Michael. I've seen the other federations, they're going, in Victoria, they picked that, and then at their nationals. And nationals are always tough, yeah?
Yeah, so that was going to be the next point, is nationals, because then nationals is where you get everyone coming together, right?
Yes.
So at nationals, who's there judging, and do we ensure that at every nationals every year there's consistency? Because it should be the same people, right, every year?
No, again, because it's not the same people doing the competition either, yeah. So it's not with the judges, yes, because it's Victoria. Different. Obviously, again, they're not full time. No judge in Australia. No federation's got anyone that's full time. So who's ever available? We ask every state to bring judge or 2 judges with them.
Yes.
So if, say, Queensland, none of the judges available because, they got private lives and and they can't come. So we don't have anyone from Queensland. But then we got from New South Wales, South Australia, WA, Victoria. So we do the best we can and try and have someone representing each state. And so there's a bit more, makes it level playing field, I suppose, rather than, it's all Victorians and that's why Victoria wins. But, sorry, Michael, but in Queensland, maybe more Queenslanders won, but they had probably 10 times more competitors too.
Oh, no, I understand that. I totally get that.
So the odds are that they're going to win a lot more. The same as in Victoria. We're going to be tenfold as well with the amount of Victorians.
Going to win because there's going to be a lot more Victorians at the show. I totally get that.
It's not that because my judges, they're Victorians and we're going to vote for them, because as you know, Andrew, my head judge, doesn't stand for any any of that nonsense. He picks whoever all my judges pick who they think deserves to win and place.
Understand. So the other tricky question that we got, because I think that one's done, and I appreciate the discussion on that. The other tricky question, it actually came from a posing coach, is the different front pose between the states.
Jason, I tell you, I could slap him, I tell you.
What do they want at nationals? That was the question, because and we know Queensland have a front pose, and some other states have a front. Some states are a little bit different. So when it comes to nationals, where we all come together, coach is asking, what's the pose we should pick?
Wayne and I had a discussion. Whatever makes you look the best.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
that's the easiest way to sum it up. No, the judges can't just say this is exactly what we want, but that might make me look square and might make me look out of symmetry. Yeah, it's whatever makes you look the best.
Yeah,
that's probably in anything. Even when I started, hide your flaws, in your posing and all that. It's no different here with the models. Jason's got this specific thing about front pose, and we have a good laugh about it.
Yeah,
but that's Jason. He's passionate and he loves it.
Yeah, I get it.
I can tell you now, come to the Nationals, it's whatever it's going to make you look the best.
Well,
I mean, if it looks silly, then but 100%. No.
So, like, MG will listen to this. He has a client that actually looks better when she hits her front pose like a Queensland front pose, if you want to call it. She actually looks better. So she's going to use that pose in Victorian shows because it looks better physique. So that would be my answer too, is pick the pose that looks the best for you.
Yes.
Only caveat would be is practice the other pose, because I've seen at some shows, at national shows, they've asked for it.
Yes.
Where they've
exactly
said,
right.
Can you stand more front on? Or can you put your hands down in your back pose?
Yes.
Things like that. So I always recommend someone, if they're going to do a nationals, is practice those other poses, because they may get called. It's like, for instance, in bodybuilding, sometimes you say, okay, side chest, and they'll be like, okay, now the left side. And you're like, holy shit, that's the left
side. And that's a perfect example, because as you've seen it many times, we do that, especially when it's close, guys. If it's 100%. Close, and that could be the difference between winning an overall or even just in a division. That could be the difference. They just can't separate them. We've seen them many times. The judges look at me and they're going, we can't make a decision. They're both perfect, and we've got to have a winner. So then they'll do some odd things like that, and just up on your toes for calves. Let's have a look at that.
I get it. Yeah, I totally get it.
And you're right. Yeah, they'll throw in a curly one. Okay, your favourite side of side chest, but now let's do the other side. Yeah, exactly.
Well, we're talking nationals. We're talking pro cards on the line. If they need a tip, and they got to put you in a position where maybe you can have a flaw be exposed, they'll do that. Yeah,
correct. Yeah, correct, mate.
Okay, so
they weren't that tough. These questions.
Actually, we've gotten pretty good. So the other questions now are grouped as they're talking about divisions. So someone asked, why is there so many age categories? Why not just have juniors and masters? So I know like an IFBB do that. They just do a juniors and a masters.
Yeah. I speak to my competitors. Yeah, I think I have a good relationship, and I hope they feel the same way, that I can, they can approach their president and he listens. And I have, 40-year-olds and 50-year-olds going, I'm up, if I do the open or if I do rookie or novice, I'm up against 20-year-olds and 30-year-olds, and I'm not in that condition there. Is that a level playing field? No, it's not.
Yeah.
That's why, we have 60s, 70s. We even got 70s and 80s, as you've seen, So to me, not doing that is, these people aren't going to compete. Now they've lost their stage. We've taken their platform away from them.
Yep.
I don't want that. I want them to feel comfortable against, if I'm 59, I'm in 50 to 60-year-old, 50 to 59-year-olds, actually, I know that it's a level playing field as such. The 40s, the 30s, the mummers, everyone's in that same category. If we start to cut that out, mate, honestly.
I honestly think that's one of your points of difference, right? And having it, like, really your age groups, you got a 23 and under, but pretty much from 30, it goes every 10 years, right?
Correct, yes.
And you're right, like MG told me this the other day, I think he rang you or messaged you and said, hey, I got a 50-year-old, are you going to have a 50 plus? And you're like, yep. So
done. And I added it in.
Yeah.
Why? Because at the end of the day, the most important person is the competitor.
Yeah.
They're my stars of the show.
Yeah.
If I don't have stars, are you going to go watch a movie with no one in it, just scenery?
No, I get it. And
you need actors, and they're my stars. And that's why I always treat them myself, Patricia, as you know. As soon as they walk through that front door, you get that beautiful smile, the hug, the kiss from Patricia. Why? That's why she's there. Not because I tell her to be there. She's there because she wants to be there, and she wants to greet these people.
Yeah.
And it's honest, genuine love from both of us, and Wayne and all my presidents. We do it because we love what we do.
Yeah.
I don't look at it as work, because I love it.
Yeah. we're actually working right now. Can you believe it?
Yeah, I know, exactly. So, you know what I mean? So,
Yeah.
yeah, if that's what the other, and I said it earlier, I might not like what the other federation's doing or whatever, but might suit them.
Yeah, it's them.
This suits us, and that's why we open up divisions because not everyone's made in the same mold.
Yeah.
Everyone's different, and the same thing is in the judge and everything. Every decision, every category, it's always different. You're talking about, I think I might jump ahead here, but about doing multiple divisions.
Yeah, there was a question about, will there be, I think, is there a cap on how many divisions you can enter so there's not so many competitors all day?
Okay, someone that asked that, okay, first of all, I say, Michael, I come to watch you, right? I don't want to just watch you for 10 minutes. Pay my money, $50, I'll sit there. That's it, it's over.
Yeah.
I don't care if I see you for 10 different divisions. Yeah. I've come to watch you. Yeah. No different to when you go to watch AFL game. Still the same 22 on each side playing, and you're watching them for 120 minutes or more, yeah? But that's what I came to watch.
Yeah.
You know, we break up before it used to be a female, male. We changed all that. We did all the males because some of the bodybuilders didn't want to watch the models and vice versa. So now we change that up, and now we got all the males first, and then we got the all. So if I come to watch Michael, I don't have to worry about all the other divisions. I've come to watch all Michael's divisions. So I don't care. Family, friends come to watch you. They don't care how many times you've been up on stage. The more, the better, because one, they feel like value for money, but two, they feel like they're seeing you, which is who they've come to see.
I agree with you. If someone wants more stage time, they have the ability to have more stage time because they can enter more categories. I totally get that. I think and this don't have to be a restriction you put in the federation, but for me as a coach, I'll restrict my clients if I feel they're not competitive enough to go in that category.
Okay.
Right? Yeah. So for instance, if I have someone that's a first timer, they're 40 plus and they're a mum, and I'm like, just do first timer, do 40 plus, do mum, don't do open, right?
Yeah.
Because you're probably not at that level yet, and there's no point in flooding that category for no good reason. And really, from a stage experience perspective, you don't want to get me pushed on the side because they're not judging you because you're not at the open level yet. That's me, and I'd love it if more coaches did that, because then we wouldn't flood categories and we'd have the people where they need to be. That kind of makes sense.
Yes. Yeah.
I understand there's some people that want to just try their hand at everything and they want to do as many as they can. Maybe it's the one and only show they're ever going to do, and they've got everyone coming to watch them, and they want to be on stage multiple times, which is perfectly fine. So
and the other thing is, we don't say you've got to do 10 divisions or you've got to do 5 divisions. It's up to them.
Yeah, they can do
and coaches. Yeah, you know, we've just allowed them to do it, and that came after I competed. I was only allowed to do 1 division. I did it, and I gone, what? That's it. All that hard dieting, training, the mood swings, the whole lot, but just to do one thing 10 minutes and it was over.
Yeah,
and even the family friends felt like, that's it.
There needs to be a balance. This is not the federation needs to impose this, but I think personally people, coaches and competitors need to impose on themselves needs to be a balance. Go into enough divisions that you're comfortable and you're going to get enough stage time, but don't go into so many just because you can. And really pick the ones where you're going to get the best experience and be the most competitive at. I think it's super important for them to do that.
Yeah, my word. But again, as you know, Michael, each division can have different girls in it too. 100%. So even that person you said about Mama and 40 plus, but we've had them win shows as well. Yeah, first timers. How many times do we have a first timer? Everyone thinks because they're first timer, they're going to be average or not that. Mate, it just means they've never been on stage before.
Yeah, but they can win still. They can do very well.
100%. And what do we say? You got to be in it to win it.
Yeah, 100%.
And you as a coach know that and go, well, Johnny, mate, you look fantastic. I think we need to put you in the open now.
Yep.
Yeah. So you can gauge as well. And as you know, on the day you can add if you need to add. Yeah. And that's the thing. Again, it's up to yourself, up to the competitor, what they want to do. We can say you can do 100 divisions, but doesn't necessarily you have to do 100 divisions. It's just 100%. What you choose. So no one puts a gun to your head and said you have to do it.
Yeah, totally.
And going back to another question, I don't know if I jump into a head again about the rookie show. or did you want to ask that?
Well, yeah, let's go to that. So the question was, why is the rookie show date so far from the other shows? Because
Yeah.
the rookie show's in a week and a half.
Yeah.
And then your next show post that point is like maybe 6 weeks, I think.
Yeah,
And
maybe 5 weeks, yeah.
6. And then after that, the next one is 4 weeks, I believe. Yeah, the female classic.
Yeah, I think so. 4 or 5
We're
weeks,
talking
yeah.
about Victorian shows, yeah.
Yeah.
So they asked, why is the rookie show so far away from the others?
Yeah. Okay, cool. First of all, the rookie in the Rose was made for beginners, basically. In our sport, we didn't want really seasonal competitors that are, a pro standard or open winners of an Australian going into a local show. So it's a standalone show. So we made it that sort of date, and it was pretty successful. And look, the numbers aren't huge, but it wasn't about getting huge numbers. It was about giving beginners their time.
Yep.
Instead of being up against Michael, who's competed for 10 years or more,
Yep.
I'm up against people that haven't. And that was basically the thinking behind it and that. But, yeah, and also we had there used to be some other shows, and the Arnold Classic was around that time as well, and it worked well together.
Yes,
we bounced off each other. As you know, Tony and I got a good relationship, and we'd get some of his competitors and vice versa. He'd get some of ours, so it worked really well. But obviously, then that stopped. That changed it.
Can I tell you my honest opinion?
Right, yeah, of course you
can. And just so you know, because then you can decide whether you want to use that information.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
With the rookie show, traditionally, someone will need to do their prep diet throughout November, December. So it means Christmas and New Year's, right?
Yeah.
And then normally I recommend that people do more than one show, right? So they don't just do one and then that's it. They do a couple, right? And it's a lot easier to do shows that are closer together. It just is. Less dieting and things like that. So the reason why the rookie show, for me, I have to really be specific with who I put in it, is because I need to think, okay, this person's going to diet over Christmas. They're a first timer also. I want to put them through. And then secondly, if they want to do a second show, will they last and will they be able to extend their prep to the second show?
Yeah.
It's just my thought pattern and what other coaches think about when they decide whether they'll do rookie show or not. If they don't, which is, I don't have anyone in the rookie show, to be honest with you, but I have a lot in the other shows.
What?
Oh, no, sorry, Tony.
No, it's right.
I'll be there, though. I'll be there. MG has a couple.
Yes, he has, yeah.
So I've loaded everyone up in the later shows because they're close together and they didn't need a diet over the Christmas period. So that could be people's thought pattern if you're wondering.
Love it. Love the idea, Michael. And, we actually thought about that. The reason we kept them apart is because we didn't want to over expose the shows, you know what I mean? Look how many shows in a row they've got and this and that. Because we cop a lot of that too, look how many shows. Well, you don't have to do it. You know what I mean? Again, that's what suits us. And I think we wanted to make the rookie show a bit later on, but there's so much happening in March, as you know, with I think the Grand Prix has changed now. And then you got Labor Day, you got all that. And so we looked at all that, but next year it's going to obviously change with the Fitness Expo in Melbourne next year. That's going to change what decisions we make as well with the shows. But I actually agree with you. I said to Wayne and Patricia the other day, I feel the same way. It's tough on these rookies coming in because they've got to diet through Christmas and everyone's eating chocolate and cake and all that, and and then you're just sitting there eating your chicken and fish and broccoli and that. So,
and you know what?
We'll take it on board.
I'm saying this out loud, and because also I have people in the team that are like this too. Is I think that's a reason why Season A is always a bit smaller than Season B. Is because Season A means you need to prep over the summertime, which is where people are most social, right?
Yeah.
In winter, people are at home on Netflix anyway, so it doesn't matter, right? So you're happy to diet through winter, right? Even though it's cold. But I think that's another reason why Season B is always bigger, right?
Yes.
But for that reason. So if you can shift the rookie show so that you wouldn't have to prep over the Christmas period. It might change the numbers, but
yeah, I think you're right.
There's a lot to manage.
Yeah, no doubt. And we've got to look at. We always, as you know, we put our dates out ASAP.
Earliest, yeah, I know.
Yeah, we do. Yeah. And sometimes we've had clashes, but venues dictate availability as well for us.
Yeah, I totally
when they're available, and we try and book ahead. So yeah, I hear, and we will make that change because I still think it's too early. When the Arnold was on, it was a bit different because everyone's in there. Yeah. But now that's not there, so we're happy to move it.
You've proved my point that you take on feedback. See there.
Oh, there you go. My word, I do. Absolutely. Here's another exclusive. You're talking about dieting through winter.
Mm-hmm.
So we haven't announced it yet, but we're doing the Winter Championships again.
This year?
Yeah, in July. Yeah.
Awesome. Because, and I'll tell you why that's a good thing, right? Is because there's some people that are doing later shows in season A who want to do season B, but as a coach, I always recommend, like, you're not going to be able to make significant changes. Like, there's too big of a gap to hold, and a too small of a gap to make any improvements. But with that kind of winter show, you have enough time to continue to look after yourself post-show, but then continue with your diet to then hit another show. So
perfect. Yeah, so when you it's in July. Well, it's July.
July,
because we didn't want it too close to the all-female as well.
Yeah.
And plus, you've got the universe in Korea as well. So the all-female. We were thinking about it. We actually used to do that in July. And then for some reason
June at least.
Yeah, June, July. And then we took it to May, and we were thinking about it the other day, and we were talking, we go, well, what made us do that? And I don't know myself.
I think it's good. I think it's good though that the federations kind of look at what each other do and try to keep the shows close together.
Yes.
Because as I said, cross competing is becoming more popular, and if you just put a show that's not in a good position, people aren't going to pick it. That kind of makes sense.
Yeah, my word.
Yeah, it makes total sense. Someone asked.
I'll stop jumping in front with the questions. Yeah, I'll let you ask the questions.
Someone asked the question about any news/developments on Classic Physique changes. I didn't know about this. Is there changes?
No, not really changes. More again about following the critique. I mean, Classic Physique. Well, number one, I don't like the name.
Okay.
I've actually said to my president, it should be classic bodybuilding because that's what it is. It's not physique. It's not the long shorts because you might as well wear long shorts if we're going to do that. It's classic bodybuilding because that's what it was based on. The old Arnie days and Frank Zane and Franco Colombo. That's classic.
Yeah.
So why are we calling it classic physique? It should be called classic bodybuilding.
Like it.
I'm hoping maybe by next year, maybe we'll have the name change.
Okay.
But again, any things like that, we don't just because I'm an Australian president, I go, this is it. No, same thing as a head judge. No, I speak to all my presidents, and we give everyone's opinion and listen to it, and then we do a vote. Okay, who votes for the name change? And that's how you have a good relationship with your other judges or other presidents by doing that, rather than just this is what it is. Might as well be a dictator, and that's something we're not. So that's something we want to introduce next year. What we're asking is, if you're going to do classic physique, you need to do classic posing, not bodybuilding poses. So I spoke to Andrew the other day. I said, be a bit more lenient, maybe at the rookie show and the first few shows and that, especially with beginners and that. But just tell them, listen, you need to start learning to do classic posing. If you don't know how to do it, just stick to bodybuilding.
I agree with you, and I'll tell you something about the difference between the states about posing, right? So here's one for you.
Yeah.
Because I went to the New South Wales show, season A last year for Nationals.
Yeah.
And they see in Victoria, we call, front double bicep, then classic variation.
Yes.
They don't do
That's
that.
Not going to happen.
They go straight to classic variation. There's no,
Yes.
So I liked it. So if that's something that we can implement.
Well, that's what we are going to do.
Yeah, okay, perfect. Yeah. So it's just only classic poses. There's no classic variation. That is your...
No. Yes. But we'll say, I think Andrew wants to introduce your favorite classic pose after all the posing's done. Okay, now hit your favorite classic pose.
Yeah.
But otherwise, we're really tough on that. You need to do classic posing, and again, it's a hard one, because what if the guy that's got the best physique on stage is struggling and he's not? Then we then say to him, "Sorry, Michael, you got the best body, but you're not posing right, as in the classic pose, so you can't win."
Honestly,
that's hard.
Bad luck, because posing is a component, right?
It is.
And I tell clients all the time is you may have the best physique, but if you haven't practiced your posing, someone with the worst physique is going to beat you.
Yes.
It's all part of it.
And you know what's going to be on social media? Look at this. Look at the two photos. How did this guy beat me? Yeah.
Yeah, and then
you love that.
The photo of someone halfway between a pose when they're not looking great, and someone looking amazing, be like, "How did that person beat that person?" Like, yeah, okay, you weren't there, mate.
Love it, Michael. You've noticed that. And I write to them. I say, please, how about these two? Oh, hang on. You're halfway through your pose, but he's striking hard. Oh, you don't look as good now. I said, you can't do that. I said, you got to show both, and and that's the thing that I'm worried about, is that it's going to come back to, and everyone's going to believe it and go, oh, look at their judges, they're hopeless. They go to this guy, but they weren't there to see that. Listen, the rule says that you need to do classic posing. So we'll be a bit more lenient, but obviously come the VIX and the Australian, mate, you need to do it.
Yeah, I like that. If it's classic physique, it should only be classic posing, not bodybuilding posing, then ask for a variation. It should be just straight up.
Yeah, exactly.
So the only other question that we got for you, it's actually a judging question. I'm going to ask it to you, but I don't think you're going to be able to answer it, to be honest. Or it's more for a judge to answer, but I'll ask it. Fitness model category. I'm assuming that means model.
Yeah.
Are the judges looking for more size and muscular development, or someone that is smaller but lean?
Yeah, it is more of a judging question. You'd probably speak to Andrew about. Wouldn't be bad to get Andrew on one of these podcasts.
Yeah,
because he's open to that. He's terrific. He's another one that's really approachable. He's one of my close friends, a dear friend. But
I can help answer it. So, if it's for females, it's definitely a more muscular physique compared to a bikini, and they are also very lean. So it's a bit of both, right?
Yes. Yeah.
If it's fitness for men's, that's actually the smallest division out of the men's. So it's a smaller physique, but the conditioning is still the same. Like, it's still very, very lean, because the men still in the fitness, they still expose their legs. So their legs have to be lean, and you have to be lean. So if it's men's fitness, it is the smallest physique out of all the men's. But if it's female fitness, it's actually one of the biggest physiques. You got figure above that, but it's actually one of the biggest ones. So
you're right, Michael. The other thing is, I put I think it was a 45-page PDF file. It's called the ICN Victorian Competitor Handbook, and it's free. Yep. They just have to join even as a free member, and then go to event information, click on that, click on the ICN Victorian Competitor Handbook, and it's got all the description, the judging, the attire, and just general things. And it's got pictures of examples of every single category that we have, and just a whole heap of other stuff with descriptions of, all the different divisions and explanation of what they are, how to join, all the female division the male divisions, the judging guidelines, who our judges are, this runway, it's got all of it.
Look at it.
I mean, your clients should all download that too, Michael.
Yeah.
And MG and Scotty Too Hottie.
Yeah. Actually,
Scotty, you should have been here.
He's competing this year, season B.
Ah, fantastic.
He's gonna be on your pro stage. Yeah.
Ah, love it. Always enjoy having him on our pro show. And that's the other good thing about it, that as a promoter and a president, whatever you want to call me, that I'm not on the judging panel. I can enjoy having my Victorian competitors up there. Mm-hmm. I don't cheer, and I'll tell you the reason why I don't cheer, because I did it many years ago. I was just clapping because there's people I knew, and I clapped in that. People took that, he's going to win because the president's cheering for him. I mean, what a ridiculous statement. But that's the kind of things that people look for when they don't win, or their client don't win.
Tony, why didn't I win? Aren't we best mates? Like, why didn't I win, Tony?
100%. Michael Trimboli wins all the shows because, he's friends with Tony and Patricia and Vicky and all that and that. What a load of, load of craps, honestly.
And it was a small highlight of my stage time when I was on stage, is when I was waiting for medals to be presented, and we all stood at the back of the stage, I stood right next to you on that side. And I don't know if we had like a little conversation. We're having a backwards and forwards.
We did.
I wasn't even paying attention to it. I was just waiting for them to tell the placings, but you and I were having a conversation. It was
and that's, again, mate, it's the, all our trainers, the gyms, we're all partners in this. Obviously, if we didn't have the federation, then you wouldn't have these competitors, and people wouldn't be going to the gyms or the PT studios or whatever. So, but we're all in it together. And, of course we want everyone to do well, but it's a competition at the end of the day. And,
exactly.
And the beautiful thing I see, and when I was doing the other federations and I was backstage, the difference is at the ICN shows, everyone's so friendly. Even you and I up against each other, but we're talking, we're having fun, we're laughing. I'm complimenting, man, Michael, look at you look fantastic. And I get that as a good feedback, and I love that. And I think that's created by, my staff who are there because they love what they do as well. From my judges to Samantha, my backstage marshals that are just amazing, absolutely amazing. And she's been with us for a long time. And she'll be strict, but you know what? It's important because she knows if she doesn't do that, you're not listening, you're going to miss your division. Then you're going to go, oh, what happened? You didn't call me. And as you know, they go walkabout sometimes. But everyone's there because they love what they do and gives you, as a competitor, a good feeling as well. Even the layback, even the judges and me on stage, and we're having a good laugh with the competitors, and the pose down we do. That's just fun, and that's got to be. It's got to be fun, no matter what you do in life. It's got to be fun.
Yeah, you've definitely got to have fun at a show. It goes way too quick. Way too quick. So definitely sit back and enjoy it, and encourage other people. You're all gone through the hard times, and you should just celebrate it for sure. And if you don't place, so be it. As I always tell people, is like, be your best. If that translates to you being the best, then cherry on top. Congratulations.
Perfect. Absolutely.
As long as you walk away knowing that you were your absolute best and you did your best, that's all that you could ever ask for.
Yeah, my word. And as you know, Michael, we have critique judges that are typing away. You see them on their laptop. I saw someone bagging, look, they have their laptops. Mate, the laptops are there because we're writing critique on there. It's not there looking up YouTube or TikTok or anything like that. They're actually typing, and it's a hard job.
Yeah, it is.
And they don't sugarcoat anything. They will tell you exactly because that's what you need. It's no good saying, oh, Michael, you're fantastic at this and that. Well, how's that going to help me for my next show? We'll give you things that you need to improve on to get better because we care.
Yeah, it definitely.
And that's what the critique judges are there for.
What they liked and what you need to improve on. Yeah.
Correct. And if it's harsh, well, it's a reality check, and it's, again, to help you. It's not to put you down. Yeah. It's there to help you as a trainer and any other trainer or even just the competitor if they train themselves. Okay, this is what they need. I need to work on my shoulders or my tricep or my quads or whatever. It's to make you better. And everyone that's listened to that, and a lot of your clients that have done that, guess what? They've placed or won or gone on to be pros.
Yeah, 100%.
Because of that reason and that. And, all our staff get paid.
Yeah.
Every person that works there gets paid. Even though they love it and they would do it for free, we don't look at it that way. Yes? Yeah. Patricia and I said, no, everyone has to get paid.
Yeah.
Because it's a tough job and it's a long day.
Yeah. I'm getting excited. The first one's in a week and a half?
Oh, yeah.
I'm getting excited. So
good some good lineups. We've got some smaller lineups and that. And again, we're not going to cancel the ones if there's only one. We'll put them in with a different division.
Yeah, question for you. When's the running order coming out? When does all that stuff come out?
Roughly by Tuesday is entries closed. So then, we used to bring out running orders, and we got one on the event information. And that's the other thing, guys. always go. Every show's got an event information, and a lot of the details, we put a lot of care into it. So go to event information and download that specific show, because that's got a lot of relevant information. And it's got a basic running order and times. Again, like you said earlier about the splits, we don't know what we have to split yet until we get the entries in.
So I've tried. Middle of next week, should get a running order out.
Yeah, my word, yeah. I've done something different now with some of the bigger shows. I've actually allowed roughly, compared to last year, on how many splits we did. So I allowed a different time in there. So say the first division was at 12, but I know there was 3 high classes last year. So now I put 12:40 for the next one to start. So that's why there's a difference.
Correct. It's going to be roughly the same size. Roughly,
yes.
Yeah, makes sense.
Yeah, but look, being the Australians here in Victoria this year, I think that's going to change. It's going to go miles bigger. And again, this is the only time I'm not going to listen to you guys, because you guys wanted one day for the Vixen, killed me. And I copped heaps, but then it ended up working out really well. Yeah, is that we're going to do it over the 2 days.
Yeah, 2 days. So how are you splitting it then, Tony? What's on day one? What's on day two?
Okay, so the Saturday will be all the male divisions and figure, so the muscle divisions.
Yes.
Yep. Even though men's fitness they've still got muscles, but and so is the sports models and fitness, but a little bit different, And then the Sunday is all models.
It's all
the
females, basically. Yeah. Okay.
Correct. Just an easier way to run it, and I think just smoother as well, and can give people lots of time in that too.
I like it.
And the same for the Australians. So what we're doing with the Australians is that we're going to run all the males and figure on the Saturday with the pro divisions as well.
So
for those 4 categories. 5 categories.
Every category?
No, we'll allow some breather.
Some breather, okay.
Yeah, because if they've been in a few divisions, they're going to be pretty tired too. And if we did it straight away, they're going to go straight on stage.
It won't be at the end of the day.
I'm trying not to,
Okay.
Especially for the first few divisions, I'll probably put them on a little bit.
Yeah, because it's hard. If you're a bodybuilder and you've got to wait till
Yeah, I agree with you there. Something Wayne and I spoke about. I said, these bodybuilders have been, I think they're going to wait, hours and hours, So, we'll change that. And now with the Oceania in there, there'll be other things. But so then we'll do all the 5 pro divisions on the Saturday, and then the 4, isn't it?
Yeah.
No, 5. Yeah, 5. And then 3, the 3 female divisions on the Sunday.
That's good, because I remember traditionally you do all the opens on one day and all the other subcategories, 30 plus, mum, 23 on the other day. But now it's okay. I like it. I actually like it the new way. I like it.
Yeah, so do we. The only reason we did the open on that one day because the pro show was on that night, and we didn't want people that. Okay, hang on, I'm on the Sunday, so I get my pro card, but I can't compete because it was already on the show. Yeah, that was the reason behind it. But now we're doing it this way. It's
awesome. All right, we'll wrap it up there. We can talk forever.
100%. Again, because we love what we do, exactly. And we love our sport, but great, big things happening, with the the expo coming back to Melbourne next year. We'll have our show. We'll have our show there. That's part of evolving, and the federation. What am I? We're part of, and we're partners of the biggest fitness expo in Australia, if not the world, because we go all over the world. We're part of it, and they picked us for a reason.
That's awesome.
Because we run shows professionally. Even we were just talking to Sean, and he goes, even with your judges, I've seen them. I know them now. They're the same judges, and I know what they had to do to become a judge, and your staff, and it's got that great partnership. And for him, it's easier knowing that he can just leave us and know that we're going to be doing the right thing.
Yeah, perfect.
Yeah,
it's going to be good. It's going to be a good 23 and
24. I'm excited. And don't forget, that's Hawaii, isn't it? But Bali, mate.
Oh, Bali, Bali.
Yeah, Bali. At the end of the year, November 11 and 12. Yeah. So what we're saying is compete and then holiday.
Yeah, that's definitely a good idea. Yeah. You're going to need a holiday. Everyone's going to need a holiday.
100%. And then we got Italy, we got Korea. We're all over the world with that.
Yeah, it's awesome.
So, Yeah, so we you know, if you want to compete with us, you've got so many opportunities, and
Yeah.
yeah, it's definitely exciting. That I'm actually emceeing the first few shows of season A,
Okay. Yeah.
and then we'll get Perry for season B, and that.
Okay. Yeah, because you got Perry.
Yeah,
Yeah, makes
yeah,
sense.
and he's amazing anyway.
He's good.
And one thing about us, we're definitely family federation. As you know, my whole family is there on the day.
Yeah.
Carl,
Yeah.
he's just opened up his own gym now.
Yeah.
Chaos, he's the Victorian president. And then got Orlando there, Patricia, Shanti, Alana. Everyone works there,
And a granddaughter.
Grandson, yeah.
Grandson.
Yeah, grandson. Alessio.
Alessio. Oh,
yeah, Alessio
nice
Matteo.
Awesome.
Yeah, thank you. And he's so
Tony,
beautiful. I can't wait for him to meet him as well. But
yeah.
Michael, thank you very much for the opportunity. I really appreciate it. Guys, my number's always, I think you just push contact on Instagram and Facebook and it dials my number. Yeah, that's my direct number. If you've got any questions, no question is silly. Yeah.
All the tough questions. You want all the tough ones, don't you, Tony?
Hey, that was easy. Okay, I was prepared. I had my boxing gloves ready and everything. But yeah, I mean, there's no hidden agendas. It's just that's it. If that's what the judges picked, it's because that's what the judges picked, not because of who they know or don't know or whatever. There's none of that. It never has been. Never has been.
Exactly. All right. Yeah. Thanks, Tony. You enjoy
Good on you guys.
and
thank you.
I'll see you very soon.
Yeah, look forward to it. Thank you.
Ciao.
God bless everyone.